Welcome to the MVP podcast, where we talk about anything NBA. I'm Sam Holcroft, alongside Geigh Zolkoffer. Before we begin, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Momentum MVP, follow our Facebook page at MVP Momentum Podcast, and check us out on YouTube at MVP Momentum Podcast. Today we're going to do our 8th edition of our custom NBA stock market update. And boy, did a lot happen these last few weeks. So let me just get into the recap. I led the way, gaining $737.15, putting my yearly total at $7,205.51, taking the lead, actually. Gage, you had the second best week with $353.91, bringing your yearly total, or your yearly money that you have is $7,100, which is only $85 behind me. And Payton also gaining money, only $39.60. But I think this might be either the first or the second time that we have all gained money in the exact same week. I feel like someone's always losing money. Yeah, mostly Payton. But there was you last week. There was me, I think, a week or two. And that brings his loss down to $513.54 on the year. In terms of teams, the top gainers were the Cavs at $12.72 a share, the Lakers at $8.87, the Warriors $5.09, the Mavericks $3.95, and the Suns at $3.10. Other teams that gained money were the Bulls, the Heat, the Nuggets, the Celtics, the Pelicans, the Clippers, the Blazers, the Hawks, the Magic, the Raptors, and the Pistons gaining for the second week in a row. The top losers, the Grizzlies lost $16.05, the Bucks lost $15.05, 76ers $5.43, Spurs $5.20, and the Jazz $4.50. Other teams that lost money were the Kings, the Pacers, the Knicks, the Hornets, the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Nets, the Wizards, and the Rockets. So, Gage changing the standings. It's never fun to see yourself go from number one down to number two. And all I'm saying is, last year when it happened, you never gained it back. Are you scared it's gonna happen again?
No, I'm chilling. Yeah, I'm chilling. It is what it is.
And it's kind of funny because I didn't necessarily go all in like you have in multiple times last year and even this year on one team, but I went with 60 shares of the Cavs, and they were the top gainer. They almost gained $13 a share. So that was a huge gain for me. I also had some other good stocks that gained me money too, which also helped. But I did have $5 shares, which kind of killed me a little bit. That was almost like 70 some dollars that really could have helped. But you only bought 20 shares of the Cavaliers last week.
I thought it was 30. Oh, well, I guess I had 30 total.
You bought 20 more. Yeah, so you just didn't buy enough. You had your pocketbook ready, but instead you wanted to spend money on the Jazz, who lost money. You said wanted to spend money on the Pacers, who lost money.
But the Heat.
And luckily the Heat won. Otherwise, you might have lost money there too.
But
they needed one more loss.
Yeah, it was a big mixed pool, so I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew I didn't really have a plan of action last time. And so I was like, I'm going to get a good mix, and I know I'll make money here, but I don't really know what the plan is.
Well, the only reason you made money was because of the Cavs. If you didn't have 30, if you didn't have 30 Cavs shares, if you would have invested that in any other team, whether it was the Heat, Pacers, or I guess if you dabbled with like the Heat, Pacers, and Jazz, you would have ended up losing money.
Yeah.
If you just would have kept 10 shares of the Cavs.
Yeah, those are 4. Those are the 4 teams I was interested in. So.
All right, so then let's talk about your stocks that you're doing. Talk about the ones that you're selling and then the ones that you're buying this week.
I'm selling like all the Pacers. I'm just kind of sick of what they're doing. They're in a harder part of their schedule as well. So, you know, it's not. There's better teams out there to invest in. And then the Heat, like the Heat were nice, but really I just needed to sell just to make more money. Like I think the Heat are still good, so I still have something in there, but eh,
Okay. And then what about the team that you're buying
the Lakers.
and why?
I think the Lakers are gonna have. Lakers have an easy schedule, and I think they'll at least crack 500. Now they might not be the top earner, but they have a real shot of going at getting a winning streak. If there's one time that the Lakers should go on a winning streak, it's gonna be this time stretch. So I think it'll be a good chunk of change right there. Yeah. So
All right. I'll get to my points here in a second because I disagree with you to an extent in some of those. But let me go with Payton's real fast. Payton is selling 5 Suns, 5 Hornets, 3 Celtics, and 3 Knicks. Just needed some spending money. He's adding 10 more of the Wolves to the 10 that he already had. And he bought 5 more Bucks. That stock is starting to kind of creep down a little bit where it's not that big of a deal if you do end up losing money. Now, they did end up losing $15 a share, but if they do exactly what they did again, like that's only going to be like $9 instead of 15, which is still a lot. Don't get me wrong, but the Bucks are on a decent schedule here. I was kind of stuck in the middle. It was really weird because I had some potential money to play with. I could have held with my $5 shares. I could have sold my $5 shares, or I could have bought 5 more. And I didn't know which road to take. And in the end of the day, the Bucks still are trying to figure it out to an extent. Um, they had a huge comeback win against, I think it was the Jazz, where they were down 20 something. Just beat I think it was the Hornets 2 nights ago. But other than that, that was their only 2 wins for the last 2 weeks. And I guess I do need to say that this will be a 3 week period that we'll be looking at because of the All-Star break, which really shouldn't affect all too much. You just get about 2 more games. But going into mine, I'm selling 30 of the Cavs. The last thing I want to do is, bank on the Cavs again and have them lose me a poop ton of money. So I selling 30 of that, still keeping about half because they are on a relatively easier schedule, but they do need to win basically 6 out of 8 games, and that's kind of asking a lot. A team that I also sold on. The next 5 teams I sold out of completely, and that's the Bulls. Their stock price is getting a little too high. The last few weeks, if I remember correctly, they've only been gaining like a few dollars a share when it was like $10 for like 2 consecutive weeks. So I'm getting rid of them. Got rid of my Nuggets. I just feel like the juice isn't worth the squeeze. With investing in the Nuggets, with how high their win percentage is, or their expected win percentage. I mean, they went 4-2 these last 2 weeks and gave me $1 flat. It's just not really worth it. Like I said, I sold my $5. I sold my 5 Suns. I just wanted some more money to play with. Then I sold my 1 Celtics just to kind of experiment. I mean, they gained a little over $1, but that expected win percentage is almost 80%. It's like, it's not even really worth it at this point to go for a Celtics team. But teams that I bought, I do agree with you that the Lakers do have a good schedule. They got the Pistons, the Jazz, the Warriors, the Spurs, and the Wizards on there. But they do have the Clippers, Suns, and Nuggets. So I mean, if you write those 5 games as easy wins and the other ones as losses, that's 5-3. That's above what they need. They only need to win 4 games to make money, as long as they aren't 4 blowouts and 4 close losses. The Cavs' expected win percentage went from, I think it was a .63 to a .70, because I think they had a lot of blowouts in those 8 wins that they had. So hopefully they don't win 4 games, but they're 4 blowouts, so then they end up actually losing money because they couldn't win one more game. But where I disagree with you is the Pacers. You said the Pacers were on a more difficult part of their schedule.
Mm.
Let me read you their schedule. They're playing the Hornets right now. Should they beat them?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Should they beat the Raptors? The answer is yes.
The answer is maybe.
You're talking about the 19 and 34 Raptors.
Yeah.
Are going to beat the 30 and 24 Pacers.
It could happen.
Okay. Pistons?
That's a win.
Okay. Mavericks? If
They're
they're going to lose one so far out of those first 4 games, it's that one.
They're losing to the Mavericks.
Okay. What about the Raptors at home?
I think they're losing to the Raptors.
Twice?
Once. So
one of those 2 games?
Give them the home. Give them the home. Give them the home game.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they play the Pelicans twice, one on the road, one at home, which could be some tougher games, but it's going to be after the All-Star break.
They could split.
Maybe. They could split. And then they got the Spurs.
That's probably a win.
Okay, so Hornets, Pistons, Spurs are all wins.
Okay.
Okay? You said Mavericks is a loss.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 splits between the Raptors and the Pelicans.
Mm.
So you think that they're going to go 5-3, which would put them at a 62% win percentage, which is above their expected.
So they'll make a little. They'll make some dough.
Yeah, but I also think that they shouldn't split against the Raptors. I think they should beat the Raptors twice, which would be 6 out of 8 games, and that's what I'm banking on. The Pacers has been one of those teams where I've been buying in, I've been selling, I've been buying, I've been selling all season. And I think that this is a good opportunity to go get some gains from them once again. I got 13 Hornets shares. The expected win percentage is just so low. I mean, that's a decent amount of money to put into one team. I mean, they are on a really cold streak, one of the worst in the NBA, along with the Wizards and the Spurs right now. But all they got to do is win 2 games, 2 out of 9 games. 2 out of 9 games. That's all I'm asking for.
That's tough.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of tough to ask for, but you can do it. I believe in you. Just barely. Getting 10 Jazz shares, their expected win percentage fell a little bit this last 2 weeks. So I think it's a nice opportunity to get some money there, especially with how high how high their stock price is. Because if they do good, that's going to skyrocket. If they do bad, kind of like this last week, they're not going to lose too much compared to what they already have. I'm also buying 5 Heat, decent schedule, low expected win percentage. I did buy 5 Mavericks. I think that they have a decent schedule, and if they are to beat the Pacers, at least I will feel a little bit better about that, knowing that the Mavericks got to win. And you know what? Last week, I felt bad. I sold 2 Pistons when they finally gained some money. This week, I'm buying one back. I had some money to spend, and you know what? I'm not giving up on the Pistons yet. Okay. Last week, I think I said it was going to be done last time I think I said it was going to be done this time, but I'm like, no, I'm double downing on this. We are going to stick with this.
There's a guy on like social media, I think it's Twitter or something, who for every game that the Pistons have, he's betting for the Pistons, and he's betting the amount of followers he has. 1 penny per follower, and he's been doing that since I think January, and he's actually in the positive. Which is kind of nuts because he recently won like 1,000, or he bet the followers forced him to bet $1,400 on the Pistons beating the Kings, and they actually beat the Kings.
So then he got like a crap ton of money.
Yeah. I think it was like bet that much you get like 7K or something.
So then he has 10K followers. No, that would be 100K if he's betting 1,000.
He's betting 1 cent, so he bet 1,400. So times that by 2 zeros. So
that's 140K.
140K followers.
Dang. You know what's gonna suck is like I think there's gonna be some days where they're favored and they end up losing, and then he's gonna lose a crap ton of money.
Yeah, so he's in the positive, which is hilarious.
You know what he should do? Is he should do like a 3-game parlay with that.
Yeah.
You know how much money you can make with that? That'd be insane. The entire week.
Yeah, I'll have to share that with you after.
But anyways, so is there any teams that you want to talk about specifically that you think that should have some shares or not, or like were you expecting?
Nothing. I think I'm just excited. I'm excited about investing in the Lakers because I can actually cheer them on for once.
Yeah, and you know what happened when you did that last year too?
Huh?
Didn't look good. See, and here's the thing. The Lakers have done this in the past too.
Sorry. I just found the Pistons website. That this guy. So here, let me just say it. So it started. He was plus 400. He bet the Pistons against the Kings, and he actually only bet he bet, and he made his money. He made, how much did he make? Oh, he made $6,400. All right, and now he bet against the Trailblazers, and the Pistons beat the Trailblazers
today.
So the Pistons beat the Trailblazers, and so yeah, the Pistons beat the Trailblazers, and now he's betting that the Pistons are going to, I guess they're going to beat the Clippers. He's putting money that the Pistons are going to beat the Clippers.
That would be insane.
He's putting in $1,200 to win $9,000. The Pistons win. Oh my gosh!
At this point, he's got to buy a Cade Cunningham jersey or something.
He just lost all his money. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, there's really no team that kind of stuck out to me. You know, at this point in the season, I don't think that the volatility is worth it for the Spurs or the Wizards to like climb out of that hole. You know, I keep the Pistons just for the memes. You know, the Grizzlies is the only one that's interesting just because of how high their stock price is and their expected win percentage is so low. But, you know, they gained money last week, but I just don't trust what their team composition is at this point in the season, you know, with everyone being injured. So, is there any team that you want to talk about?
No, I just said, like, I was just excited about the Lakers, especially. I mean, this is the one time I feel really confident in investing in the Lakers. And I'm just happy that, like they're going to make me money and I can just watch the games, and it's a double win, you know? Sometimes I'm torn when some teams play the Lakers and I'm like, man, this sucks. Because, like, I kind of want them to win for the stock market, but then, you know? It's kind of like having
you don't care about the stock.
It's kind of like having your players on your fantasy team, right? That's the
no,
nice
you're facing like Anthony Davis or LeBron.
Yeah, that sucks.
And you know that it's going to come down to crunch time. One of them's got to take a shot, but it's Sunday, and you know you're barely winning in fantasy, or you're trying to make the comeback.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess the question is, are you okay settling for second place now?
I'm not gonna get second place. You'll see. Well, you might get me because you see these things. You see the trends firsthand.
Yeah. But here's the thing is like, I don't know if you realize that the Pistons, not the Pistons.
The Pistons.
The Pacers could end up, making $5 or $6 a share. Something that they couldn't do for you.
Nope. We'll see. But I have the Lakers.
Right. You better watch out, because now that you fall into second, there's a chance you might fall down to third.
Yeah, the Lakers lose every game.
Oh my gosh. We'll test that out here in a second. But once again, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Momentum MVP. Follow our Facebook page at MVP Momentum Podcast, and check us out on YouTube at MVP Momentum Podcast. I've been Sam Holcroft.
Geigh Zolkoffer. Thanks for listening.